Okay, I did it. I figured out how to share my screen on Zoom, doing the clip. So, what is Practice Building Blueprint and what exactly does it offer? So, big picture, the Practice Building Blueprint is a comprehensive plan that walks you through starting your practice step by step. We provide enduring materials that you can use forever. That are a set of checklists that really define everything that you need to do to start your practice. With that, because even with that checklist, it can be kind of overwhelming. And we've talked about how community and mentorship and support is so important. We have 4 months of comprehensive support with that. So we'll get into on a little more detailed level exactly what's involved in this. So I talked about that structured curriculum and the enduring materials. So you get 6 detailed modules that we provide in a set of documents that you can have. You can download them and keep them forever. So you can circle back to those if you have questions or if you need to refine anything. You've got that forever. So the first module is on vision. We touched on that a little bit in our first day of the email series, but in the Practice Building Blueprint, we dive into that in so much more detail. We get really granular into what you need and what you want your practice to look like. We create a vision statement and some key words that you're going to focus on and dive into that. The second module is about the entity formation. We talk about setting up your legal structure, getting your group NPI numbers, your EIN numbers, setting up your phone system, setting up your email systems, like the bare bones of creating a practice. What needs to happen here? We've got links and worksheets and a spreadsheet to keep it all organized and make it as quick and efficient as possible for you. There's a lot of information, and we can work through some of those regulatory issues together. Some people do still find it helpful to consult a lawyer to make sure that everything is set up correctly, but that entity formation goes much more smoothly when you've got all those little tasks lined out, because it's a lot of little tasks. The third module gets into a financial plan. Again, it's very detailed. We've got a spreadsheet and a workbook that walk you through. We do comps for other practices. We look at you specifically. What money do you need to make this work? We set up a budget. We look at your time. We set prices. We do some projection and forecasting, which sounds very complicated. And it's a little bit, but we break it down as simple as we can so that you can really make sure that the financial plan you've got makes sense and is going to be sustainable long term. The fourth module is systems. Again, we touched on systems already and how important they are and some of the various ways you can use systems and programs that you might want to use to support that. But in the module, we really get into what systems are available, what are the pros and the cons of each, how do we evaluate those systems, and then how do we set them up to work well for you, your practice, and your clients, because again, that is so individual for everybody. The fifth is marketing. Again, we've talked marketing, but this gets into much more detail. Again, we've got links to information about color theory, programs to create your own logo, font choices, copy choices, photo choices, so that you can really set that up well. I give you the script where it shows exactly what I email to other providers so that I get that good engagement for scheduling those meetings. So it's a pretty comprehensive program with the materials that we provide for marketing. And then the last module is on growth. So you're going to be in this program for 4 months if you choose to participate, but obviously your practice is going to go on for a lot longer than that. So at the end, we talk about how to set yourself up for growth and success. We talk about how you're going to continually evaluate your practice and set those KPI, those performance indices that you want to measure, and various ways to keep track of that so you can really continue to grow your vision and your goals to have this practice that you really love. So that's the materials that we provide. With that, you also get one-on-one coaching. So there's 4 months of meetings. We have group meetings twice a month where for an hour, anybody who's in the program is welcome to show up for office hours and talk about whatever they want, related to practice ownership. So we really base that on what the individuals need that day. So we may be looking at clarifying your vision. We may pull up and screen share the websites that people are working on and kind of review those together. We may pull up an EHR or a calendar program and see how it's working. We may look at paperwork and what's working, what's not. So in that time, we really explore that vision, make sure plans are clarified. We may look at, what's holding you up? What are your sticking points and how do we need to overcome those so that you can continue making, that forward momentum? We really focus too on what are your next steps. Okay, what have you done so far? What are you working on for the next week or two? So there's that accountability piece in that coaching, and then we problem solve any barriers too. So again, those are monthly meetings twice a month, and then each participant gets to schedule one meeting directly, or sorry, two meetings one-on-one directly with me and nobody else. So I like to use those meetings usually at the beginning of the program so we can really, clarify for you that vision, set your next steps individually for you, and make sure that I really understand where you're at and your strengths and weaknesses and where we need to go so that those group coaching sessions can be really successful. We very often will do another one at the end for clients so that we can kind of wrap up any final details, marketing, make sure we've got a solid plan as you exit the program. Um, there's also community. So there's not just coaching and guidance for me. We've got a Facebook group that we work with and really make sure that that's continuous support and encouragement there. There's also some really great bonuses. The paperwork bundle is one that I think is a huge benefit. You get all the paperwork that I use, and it's very comprehensive. That comes in your materials, but if you choose to use the same EHR that I use, I can also send those directly into your EHR, which is really cool. We also do a marketing review. So once you get your website, your Psychology Today, or any other profiles up and going, I take some time and review that and do a video of it, just pointing out areas that are really strong, ways you might improve that. There's also a regulation resource list where you can connect to various organizations that provide information about regulations. I also send a list of my preferred systems, and some of those have some discount codes, which is kind of nice. And then there's a self care guide because this process can be kind of overwhelming, tedious, a little draining at times. So that self care guide is something you can utilize if you're feeling kind of drained and need to really, take care of yourself in this process. Oops. Okay, so a case study. We're PAs. We love case study, or nurse practitioners and physicians. As providers, we love a good case study. So, has this been successful for other people? Absolutely. Devin was probably thinking, yes, he was the first PA I worked with. I worked with him in the spring and summer of 2023. At that point, he had not established a practice, he was working for somebody else. And really wanted to make sure that with his practice, he was increasing his financial opportunity. So his earning potential, he really wanted to grow his earning potential while also having flexibility to spend more time with his family. So how are we going to make the most money in the least amount of time, or at least the most flexible time, was his real goal. So he was great. He really utilized the materials well, and we spent our one on ones really clarifying, okay, what's the next most important step for you to keep moving forward? And when there were obstacles, we really spent that one on one time overcoming those so that he could keep moving forward and have that good momentum. So, what was the outcome for him? He established his practice and was seeing patients within 3 months. So, I think that was a huge success. I'm not guaranteeing that's not what everybody's time frame, but for him it was 3 months, which was awesome. So as he left the program, kind of what were his future outlook? So he really wanted to continue refining his marketing, grow that patient panel, make sure his schedule was full, and then continue to increase those revenues over time. And he's done a great job with that. So it's been really exciting to see his practice continue to grow from where it was when it first started. So, if you're interested in like what's next from here, you finish up this email series, you've learned about starting a practice. Regardless of your path to success as a PA, a nurse practitioner, a physician, we're at CPAC here for you. We are always cheering on medical providers. Um, because we're making a difference regardless of how you choose to do that. So if you continue to work in your, existing medical practice for somebody else and that works well for you, awesome. If you decide to take some non-clinical job, like kudos to you. Or if you decide to open your own practice, we can be here for you as well. So kind of from here, where does it go? Maybe you've done this series and you've been like, yeah, I had that idea. And after learning about it, this does not sound awesome. I'm not feeling the warm fuzzies. Practice ownership just is not for me. That's cool. I mean, we get it. If you need help with anything else, contract and salary negotiation, managing burnout, CPAC can be here for you. So you can certainly reach out for other things. Maybe you've done this and you're really excited. You're like, yes, this speaks to me and is what I want to do. But you've decided to go it alone. Hey, that's cool too. There are plenty of PAs, and myself included, who can and have started practices without structured support. So, at the very least, though, I would recommend finding a supportive friend, using a lot of the resources, and really keeping detailed notes. Like, make sure you've got everything documented that you've done. But if at any point you find you need support, we're here. The Practice Building Blueprint is probably the best way we support new practice owners. But we can also set up a one on one to problem solve specific issues. We can also set up a marketing review or a systems review if at some point you need that. Whoops, wrong way. Or maybe you've watched the video series and you're really excited about starting a practice and want to join the practice building blueprint. So, if you're interested in collaborating with other PAs, nurse practitioners, physicians who have that entrepreneurial mindset, we can definitely do that. So, you can check out our website at CPAC, or no, sorry, certifiedpaconsulting.com, or shoot us an email at team@certifiedpaconsulting.com. We're happy to answer any questions. There's also a link directly on the website to start the program. So you can definitely do that. So the information's there, and we'd be really excited to have you join us. All right, there's our contact information. Again, feel free to utilize that now if you're interested in joining now. We've got some special discounts going on currently. This is December of 2024 when we recorded it. So we've got some special discounts until January of 2025 that we'd be happy to extend. But if at any point you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out.